Embrace. Step 2 of the Giving It Up in 6 Steps series. And Carl Rogers believes that you need to accept before you're able to change. And that is almost the hardest thing, isn't it? That acceptance, that being able to accept, particularly when you recognize that your behavior, your habit is causing so many problems. And particularly when it's not just yourself that it is affecting. And when everyone around you is not accepting, how do you take that step to accept yourself? And in this step, we're not just asking you to accept, we're looking at embracing, welcoming, loving, throwing your arms open to your habit and fully embracing it, seeing it, having compassion towards it, looking right in the face of your habit and embracing and loving the part of yourself who needs it, who wants it, who drives it. Everything we do has positive intent. And that for me is a really big part in the belief system I have in the work that I do. Every behavior, every action, every habit has a positive intent, and that positive intent might be completely lost to history. It may be something that isn't relevant anymore at all. And it may be that you can't see the positive intent and you can't see anything positive from that habit at all. Or it could be that the positive intent of that habit was actually to replace or suppress an even more destructive habit or something which would be even more destructive within you. And sometimes that thing that's even more destructive is emotion. So sometimes a habit is created to suppress the emotion. So there might be an emotion that you're feeling that this habit, the positive intent beyond it, is meant to soothe and to remove. And maybe that positive intent and those benefits that that habit was designed to create are still there. Maybe your subconscious is still really bringing and enjoying those benefits. Maybe you know what they are. Maybe you recognize what this habit brings to you and why it's important to you. So, for whatever reason this habit exists, we recognize that the subconscious isn't doing something that it thinks is negative. It's doing its best. It's doing something that it believes has a positive intent. Now, there are times when the roots of a habit really are just very simple. And it is just a case of we did the same thing over and again a few times and the brain just got used to it. So it was just something that we thought, okay, we can carry on and we'll just keep doing it. And in these cases, it's actually really, really easy to reprogram. And for these occasions, really very simple hypnosis session works. But in most cases that I've found, there are deeper roots and there are deeper reasons. So I always go into a hypnosis session with the understanding that probably it's going to have roots. And if it doesn't have roots, then great. Your hypnosis session is 15 minutes rather than 40. But if I go into it thinking this doesn't have roots, but maybe it does, then it might mean that my client would have to come back and then have another session. So it is better thinking of it as possibly easy, but probably not. When we assume positive intent, we come to the habit with compassion. We come to it with love. We come to it with a level of understanding. And if we come to it in this way, we will find it's so much easier to negotiate with the subconscious. It's so much easier to really get to understand what that habit is, what it does, and look at how we can deprogram and transform it into something that is far more beneficial. But coming to it with that love and with that compassion is so key. And this is what this whole embrace part is. It's about recognizing that it had a role, acknowledging the benefits that it's given you, and coming to it with love, welcoming it as an important part of yourself, a part of yourself that you're looking to change, but still right now, an important part of your makeup. And in step one, you may have a really good idea of the roots of this habit. You may have a really good idea of the purpose it has in your life and where it came from. But if you don't worry, because the guided self-hypnosis for this step is helping you to uncover these roots, helping you to approach and communicate with the habit or with the part of you which drives and needs this habit. And that's what we're doing in the meditation for this session. But if you don't want to do the meditation, then that's absolutely fine. And we can talk through now some of the other ways that you can look at the roots of this. So if you haven't uncovered them during the uncover stage, we can start really sort of finding some ways of looking at exactly the role of this habit. So if you were a client of mine and we were doing this live, either online or face-to-face, then we would do the whole of the habit breaking work in one session. So that means that this step, the finding the roots, would be followed almost immediately straight with the step of transforming. So that would all be the same session, and you would be getting rid and saying goodbye to your habit all in one go. But because of the nature of this, obviously doing work like that takes very careful facilitation, and therefore it's not something that I feel is easy to guide yourself through all in one go. And therefore it's set up in these 6 steps. So what that means is, as you take this step and as you come to the embracing and the finding the roots, you will need to just be aware that you may need to look after yourself a little bit. So ask yourself what support you have. Who do you have around you that you can go to, either professionally or in a non-professional sense, if you feel emotionally overwhelmed? And are you currently in the right state of mind to be able to do this work? So that's not a go away and don't do it. It's really a sense of you're responsible for yourself. And when you're doing guided self-hypnosis, it's all about you looking after yourself. So there isn't me sitting there being able to work with your emotions. It's simply you on your own. So your own support will be very important. And it may be that it's all great and you can manage it all on your own, but it would be irresponsible of me not to say, just make sure that you have support in place, that you know who you can go to if you are emotionally overwhelmed by this process. Now, that's not to say that the process won't be any easier if you are doing it without the self-hypnosis. So the process of looking into the roots, the process of really accepting and embracing the habit and that part of you that needs the habit really is never an easy process. So it's completely worthwhile. Obviously, this is part of the stages you go through to give up that habit. It's part of the work, as it were. But it doesn't mean that this way, the non-hypnosis way, is going to be easier. So it is worth also just being aware, who do you have, what support do you have available if you need it. So, one way you can really look into the core of the habit is by using photographs as a prop, basically, as a bit of a prompt. So, what you would do here is you would find some photographs, and maybe some of these will be photographs of you engaging in the habit. Maybe some of these photographs will be from the time of your life when that habit first started. Maybe they'll be from before the habit. Maybe there'll be photographs that remind you of you and your habit. So looking at these photographs, you're really using it as kind of a memory aid. So you're spending time really almost meditating on these photographs. So looking at them and just sort of thinking about, who was I? What was I like? What was happening at this time? And really trying to almost get back to those memories that the photographs represent. So spending time thinking about, um, you know, what could you hear when the photograph was taken? What could you smell? What could you see? What could you sense? So using all of your senses when looking at these memories. And remember, you're approaching these with love, with compassion, with acceptance. And what you can do as you look at these photographs is you can, from the standpoint of you now, so from all of the hindsight you have right now, as you look at these photographs, you can talk to them, and can talk to that part of you that's very connected to the habit. You can talk to it, you can show it compassion, you can talk about how it is, how things are now. But really, part of this is about really acknowledging the work and the positive intent from the habit. So, acknowledging the good times, acknowledging the benefits, and thanking that part of you for taking the habit on. And thanking the habit for what it gave you. And this is hard to do sometimes, but this really is part of the embracing. It's about seeing that reality, seeing that this habit had a positive intent. And while you don't want to hold on to this habit anymore, seeing that which it did for you and acknowledging it. Remembering the goal here is embracing both the habit and embracing that part of you that needs the habit. And one of the ways to think about this really is, if you think about, if you ran a business, and so say you ran a telephone business, and you had a member of staff who every morning at 9 o'clock hoovered the office around all of the desks. But the problem is the office starts work at 8:45 and the telephones go on at 9. So this member of staff hoovering at 9 o'clock is completely unhelpful, annoys everyone, everyone's frustrated. Now, if you go to that member of staff and you say, don't do the hoovering, they will be annoyed because they're doing the hoovering for a reason. So by approaching them with, you're annoying everyone, stop, it's likely that they will then start hoovering even more loudly, even more grumpily, and annoy people even more. And of course, the other way you could play this would be to have a conversation with that member of staff. And if you start that conversation with, "Thank you very much for doing this hoovering every day," then you've already got them a little bit more on side. So you can start with, "Thank you very much for doing the hoovering," and then ask, what's its purpose? Why are you doing this? And you might find out that everybody eats at their desk and there's crumbs everywhere, and this member of staff is really, really worried about mice and rats. So therefore they're hoovering to ensure that there aren't going to be any mice and rats. So that is obviously a very important thing. They're doing a good job. The problem here is the way they're doing it and the time they're doing it. So what you could ask is, maybe, would you mind doing it when everyone's gone home, or would you mind doing it before everyone comes in? You're happy, the member of staff is happy, and there are no mice and rats, which is the purpose, that was the positive intent behind that action. And we approach the subconscious in the same way. And actually, for many of us, when we want to try and stop ourselves doing something, we come at it with conflict. We come at it with, why am I doing this? Why is this happening? I cannot do this anymore. It's causing this problem, this problem, this problem. These terrible things are going to happen unless I stop right now. When what we could do is we could come at it with, "Thank you very much for this work that you've done. Why? What is it doing? And then, I really appreciate the fact that you need this. Can I give it to you this way rather than this way?" And that's, can you see how the difference in the subconscious helps? You're not coming at it in a combative way. There's no conflict. There's simply, I recognize this is something you've done for a very long time. I recognize that there's positive intent, but now can we do it a different way instead? And as we discussed last week in the uncover step, part of the reason for some of these habits may be, or may have, a self-soothing component. So part of our work this week within the embrace section is about self-care. So part of the work that you're doing, part of this stage, is going to be finding things that take care of you. Finding ways to look after yourself, finding ways to treat yourself for embracing this part of you, finding ways to really create this element of self-soothing. So whatever it is that's not damaging, that you love to do, take time out to do. However you love to relax, however you love to be happy, whatever you do, that's not damaging, of course, in any way. Take time now to bring this into your life. Treat yourself. So now we're moving into the guided self-hypnosis part of this week's step. So as ever, if you want to do this part, go ahead. We can continue the video. If not, feel free to turn the video off now and come back next week. So as you prepare to move into this meditation, then do just take a bit of time to, again, make sure you're comfortable, and then we'll be ready to go ahead. This part of the recording is designed to create relaxation. Therefore, do not listen to it whilst driving or operating machinery. So adjusting your body so that it's nice and comfortable, and just now taking that deep breath in and then slowly letting it out. And you can take in a big deep breath and then sigh it out. So just breathing in, sighing it out, making that out breath really long. So keeping the in breath nice and short but deep, like a and then the out breath, letting your whole body go into that exhale. Really breathing in and then letting it all exhale out. And then with the next out breath, let your eyes close. And those closed eyes now send a message to the rest of your body that it's time to relax. And allow your breathing to go back to something that feels natural to you. So something that feels normal and everyday. But you'll find that as you begin to relax and as my words guide you into that meditative bliss, that you'll find that your heart rate will begin to slow and you'll find that your breathing will automatically begin to deepen as your body and mind begins to relax. And in these beautiful beginnings of relaxation, you can hear my voice, but you may also be able to hear some of the sounds in the space around you. But from now on, every sound you hear will take you further and further into relaxation. And every word I say will take you deeper into trance. And you realize as you listen, you don't have to concentrate so hard on my words because your subconscious is listening, and you will continue to follow my instructions as you let your conscious mind follow its thoughts. And I'm wondering now what those conscious thoughts are for you today, as my words bring you deeper and deeper into trance. And today you may see these thoughts not as distractions, but as beautiful reminders of the things your mind wants you to hold on to. And maybe today you will see these thoughts as drops of water falling down from the sky. Individual droplets falling onto you or around you, falling and becoming one with the floor, with your skin, with each other, simply being singled out as a droplet and then being reabsorbed into the energy of your mind. And let those droplets fall. Feel them as they drip onto you. Think about what temperature they are and how they feel against your skin, against your hands, as they fall on your face. And watch them fall around onto your surroundings. And do they puddle gently as they fall, or do they splash, bringing up their edges before sinking down to reabsorption? But with every drop, however it falls, feel yourself becoming more and more relaxed. Take some deep breaths and continue to relax as you imagine these beautiful droplets of water collecting together to become emotion sea. And as the water puddles around your feet, you may be wondering what emotion sea is. and how it's different from everyday sea. And as the water puddles around your feet, feel the muscles in your feet beginning to relax. And as that water level rises, your mind brings up again, what's emotion sea? An emotion sea basically is a very special kind of water. And these drops that are falling are creating emotion sea. And within this sea, you will be completely safe and you will feel completely supported and secure. And at any time within this session, if you're experiencing an emotion, you can choose to give the emotion to the sea, which will turn down the intensity of it. So you can pass your feelings to the sea to turn the intensity down. So that means that you can explore everything you need to explore in this session without feeling it in your body, without feeling the intensity in your emotion. Because by simply passing that emotion to the sea, you allow it to take the sting out of it. So throughout this session, you will feel emotionally calm and safe. And as that water level rises now to your ankles and to your lower legs and your knees and your thighs and up to your hips, feel the base of your spine and the bottom of your nervous system begin to relax. And put your awareness onto your hips and release any tension you feel within them. See it rise out like a golden halo. And now let the emotion sea rise up to your stomach and focus your breathing on your stomach. Sense it rising and falling with every breath, and put your awareness onto your stomach and feel the tension release from it with every out-breath, like a halo of gold spreading into the sea. And bring that emotion sea upwards now, up to your heart, to your chest. Feel it neutralizing the tension from that area, floating out into the water like a halo of golden energy. Taking that tension from you and bringing in response a sense of calm. And let that sea rise up now to your shoulders, your neck, your throat, and feel it neutralizing any tension from your throat. Let the tension be taken by the sea as a spreading of gold, spreading out into the sea. And you can give it now any emotions, anything that's left unsaid. Give it to the sea and let the sea neutralize it. And because it's emotion sea, you can see and breathe perfectly through it. And it feels comfortable and relaxing on all of your body. So let that sea rise now, taking the relaxation up through your face, through your jaw, through the muscles around your eyes, and relax any tension from your forehead into the sea, swirling out as a golden halo, neutralized and safe. And feel that sea rise above your head now, just pushing any feelings of tension, of discomfort, or emotions that you wish to not experience right now out into the sea. You feel wonderful. All completely safe, relaxed, calm. And what an amazing feeling this is, to be sitting in this beautiful sense of calmness and safety, this love and contentedness that you've brought as a gift to yourself. Water, as it collects together, becomes puddles, and then ponds and rivers, lakes and seas. As water travels, it takes the path of least resistance to gather together, to connect, and to flow. And your mind may be following my words now, creating rivers and lakes, swirling water, connecting water to water. And just allow it to follow the imagery it needs to. For you will continue to follow my instructions. So watch that water swirl now, swirling with you within it. Feel its coolness against your skin, and breathe in the saltiness rising up from it. And remember, within the emotion sea, you can breathe easily and your eyes feel completely comfortable. And now I'm going to count down from 10 to 1. And as I count, you will feel more and more relaxed with every number, until at the number 1 you will feel 10 times deeper relaxed than you currently feel. Are you ready? Let's begin. 10. The swirling sea is now calming. 9. And you find you feel safe to lay back within it. 8. It laps around you as you float. 7. And you can see the moon above you now. 6. As the water supports you. 5. It feels so relaxing to be floating with that water lapping around you. 4. It's so calming. 3. Neutralizing. 2. Keeping you safe as you gaze up at that big, bright moon. And 1. Feeling safe and calm and 10 times deeper relaxed. Look up at that moon, a beautiful, bright, protective moon. As you feel yourself now completely enveloped in that sea, safe within it, secure. And as you lay back in the sea and get ready to explore your mind, start by recognizing any emotions that you're currently feeling and making a decision whether you want to pass them to the sea. Just passing them to the sea to turn down the intensity. And you can choose with each emotion how much you want to feel it. Whether you want to let the sea numb all of the feeling from it, or whether you want to leave it at number 1 or a number 2 rather than a 10. You decide with every emotion how much you want to feel it, and let the emotion see turn down that intensity. And today, you'll start by becoming aware of your body and the energy of your body, feeling each part of your body as carrying and holding energy. And as you look at your body, as you sense it, what colour is the energy of your body today? And today we're going to explore that habit that you're waiting to give up. We're going to explore it within you. So now I want you to think about that habit. Think about how it feels when you engage in it. And think about what parts of your body are affected by it. And recognize the energy within your body that habit leaves, that echo of energy. Recognize what parts of your body it's in and see what colour it is. And that energy of that habit in different parts of your body. Let it just be there, just recognize it, just acknowledge it. And now you can choose to work with that energy. And the way we're going to do that is to take it outside of us into the emotion sea. So each colour of that habit, see it drawing together to one part of your body, as though little balls of mercury all gathering together, rolling into each other and becoming a big ball of fluid energy. And then see it all collected in that place within you. And now with every out breath, you're going to draw that into the sea. So with every out breath, see this fluidity squeezing up and out of you and into the sea. Up and out and over as the sea takes it out with every out breath until it's hovering above you within the sea. And you can see it and look at it. And I'm wondering now how that habit looks for you right now. What it looks like. What you can see within it. And I'm wondering if there's any sounds associated with it. Any smells. And as you look at it, maybe it creates or shapes itself into a face. Something that you can communicate with. And recognize within your body what parts of your body are connected to it. So even though it's been taken by the sea and is being held by the sea, what parts of your body are tied to it with silver threads? And now You can spend some time looking at this and talking to this habit. So you can ask it any questions that you wish to. You can ask it what it does for you. You can ask it where it came from, why it stays with you. Communicate with it now. And now, see those silver threads that connect the different parts of your body to the habit. And lean into them. So lean into those parts of the body and let them tell you why they're connected to it, why they need it, what it does for them. Communicate with your body now. And now, thank the habit for all that it's done for you. Thank it for being with you. Thank it for spending this time, this part of your life with you. Recognize what the habit has given you. But as you look at it, be aware that it is time to make these changes now. And be aware that sometimes the path you travel with companions forks and you each need to take a different path. And that what suited you at one point may not suit you at another. And it's okay to let go of things. So for now, as we look at the habit and we thank it, we recognize that we're ready to start transitioning into letting it go and starting to consider what that may look like and how we can do this with compassion, kindness, and gentleness. So now we draw the habit back into us. So we breathe it in, and we breathe it in as the welcoming an old friend. And we recognize that the time for it to leave and transform will be soon. But for now, we draw it back into us with every in-breath. And as it comes back, it goes back into all of those parts of the body, that colour connecting in and connecting about. And you may find that you engage in this habit less now, in preparation for the time when you'll say goodbye, when it will transform into something new. But for now, become aware of your body. Become aware of that big, bright moon above you once more. And look into that moon. Place any emotions that have come up for you as you draw the energy back in. Place any of those emotions you need to into the emotion sea. And now it is time for you to come back to your everyday consciousness, and I will bring you back to this everyday consciousness. And I will do this by counting from 1 up to 5. Are you ready? You will use these numbers to reorientate yourself. And on the count of 5, your eyes will be fully open and you will feel fully alert and contented and fully awake and ready to continue with your day. You will feel completely rested and rejuvenated and be feeling wonderful about yourself inside and out. Let's begin. 1. Slowly, calmly, easily and gently returning to your full awareness once again. 2. Feeling completely rested and refreshed and ready to continue your day. 3. From head to toe, feeling wonderful inside and out. Physically fresh, mentally balanced, and emotionally calm. 4. Your eyes begin to feel sparkling clear and fresh. And 5. Eyes wide open, fully aware, and feeling wonderful. So now really take the time to think about how you've trusted yourself, how you've trusted this process, and the effort that maybe it's taken you to show compassion, to show love, to get to know and to embrace this side of you that holds on to this habit, and to recognize the significant difference this will make in your ability to give it up. So really be proud of the work that you've done during this step. And next step, we will be looking at reshaping. So we'll be looking at the way that you would like to see your life going in the future. Looking at what you'd like to do instead of this habit, looking at all the good things that giving up this habit will bring you. So really looking at creating this almost form, creating this sense of what you will expect and what you're looking to happen, creating these goals around what giving up this habit then will look like. So I will see you in the next step.